You're an outspoken advocate for both hustle and self-awareness.
Yes.
But if you had to put them in order, even if it's a 1A and 1B.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness
is not even close. When you know who when you know who you are, hustle's sexier.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been cooler for like the people listening for me to say hustle, because it's cooler. Mm-hmm. Self-awareness is the game. So I love sports. I don't play a lot. I'm old now. I'm 40. I try to play. I wish we could have played this morning. I'm sorry I had to miss it. But what you would have noticed very quickly is I have no left hand because I didn't have older brothers. I didn't have anybody teaching me to go to like when my brother, AJ's a much better player because when he was 9, I forced him to only play lefty, which allowed him to have both sides of the ball. I'm self-aware that I don't have a left hand. One of the reasons I don't get the ball stolen so much, and when you play pickup basketball, is I try not to go to that direction that much. If somebody's smart and paying attention, they'll recognize it by game 2 or 3, and they'll be able to defend me better. But when you know yourself, you win. In business, the reason I've been so successful is I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at.
Yeah.
And so when you actually understand yourself, you know how many people are listening right now that love athletics and think they have a jump shot and think they can take it to the rack?
You see it daily.
That's right. And instead of taking a step back and saying, I suck going to my left and then working on it, they continue to bullshit themselves and they never excel. Self-awareness in sports is that, and in business, it's people that think they're a good marketer, or it's somebody who thinks that they're good at selling, or it's somebody who thinks they're good at HR or being a leader. And the truth is you may not be. And I think, you look at, I'm friendly with Draymond Green. Yeah. His self-awareness has made him a much better basketball player because he knew what he was good at.
Yeah.
And Tom Izzo does a great job with that. If you look at why Michigan's, you know this better than I do. I'm just dangerous enough to add to this conversation.
Of course.
He puts players in a position to succeed, then the whole team is better. And so, my friends, if you're listening right now, if you just know who you are, if you know that you're short, if you know that you're fast, if you know that you can shoot, if you know that you're a good guy, if you know that you're a patient gal, if you know who you are and do more of that, and then also understand whether you need to work on those weaknesses or not. So for example, in business, I think actually not working on your weaknesses is a good strategy because you hire or partner up around it. The problem with basketball is, just being cliche here, is if you never work on your left hand, you're never gonna have it. Right. So, and it limits you. So I think self-awareness is the single most important drug in society.
Wow. Why do most people lack it? Is it ignorance or fear?
Boy, I think it's a lot of things.
Most people are not self-aware. I'll be fully transparent. I wasn't self-aware until about 3 years ago when I went through counseling for a divorce, and it completely transformed my life. You seem like someone that's been self-aware forever. So I guess the first part of the question is, how long have you been self-aware and where did that come from? And then the second is, why isn't everybody else?
It's funny, I think, and this gets into a whole nother thing, I wonder if true self-confidence, like true, is actually the unlock. I think I've been self-aware a long time because I had crazy self-confidence when I shouldn't have. Okay. When you're a freshman in high school and you're 4'11" and your book bag is bigger than you, you shouldn't be as confident as I was. Do you know what I mean? And that goes back to great parenting. And that is, I think the reason I've over-indexed in the business world is I think people see my purity, which is I want to be the best. Yep. But I don't want it at your expense. Right. I just want to be the best. And if I'm not, mazel tov, you're better. Congratulations. Right. And if I am, I'm gonna stick it in your mouth. Yeah. And I'm gonna talk shit, and I'm gonna fucking own it, and I'm gonna love it, right? Love it. But if you beat me, like this last week we went to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. We played the Bellhops guys from a startup down there, and the Vayner guys, we lost all 5 games. And I'm pissed, and I hate them, and I hope their company goes out of business. Yeah. But I give them respect, and they won. And listen, when you have a 6'7" walk-on to Auburn, when we're playing pickup basketball, you're gonna lose. But I think the punchline is, I respect the game, even at my own expense. Yeah. I don't wanna be a hypocrite. I think there's DNA, I think there's parenting, I think there's a lot of variables. If you didn't get lucky with the right environment, you didn't get lucky with the right parents, it's gonna be harder for you. I think I was blessed. I do think I was lucky. I believe that. It doesn't take away the fact that it's true. Right. Like people say, well, you're lucky. Fine, but it's true. People say, oh, you're a white male in society, you have it better. You're right. But it doesn't change what's happening. Like, I think too many people get romantic about how the way they want it. So I was in Birmingham, Alabama, and somebody said, hey, gentrification's happening. How do we let minorities win in business? I'm like, win in business. Yeah. And I used basketball. I go, how do we get more white players in the NBA? They have to be good. Yeah. Like, the market is the market is the market is the market is the market. And so I would tell you, going on the life kick right now, nobody cares about your problems. I just have bad news for everybody. Nobody cares that you don't have time to practice. Nobody cares that you didn't grow up with money. Nobody cares that you came from a bad neighborhood. As a matter of fact, you know who I think's in the worst position in startup business world? Rich white kids, because they're fucking soft.
Yeah.
And they've been pampered in private schools and Ivy League school, and then they come and start a business, and the market says, I don't care who your mama was. Right. I don't care what daddy can't donate to the market to make you win. Got it?
Got it.
And that's why my kid, for example, Xander Vaynerchuk, if you're listening, you're 4 years old, you will not score a basket at home. The reason you have 0 baskets on me is because the market's not gonna treat you any different than daddy's treating you right now. So if you're listening to this right now on recall and you're 13 and you're plotting how you're gonna beat me on one-on-one, I'm telling you right now, 9 years from now, I'm 49, I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm gonna beat your fucking ass until you can actually beat me.
Yeah. But when he does, it'll be real and it'll be pure.
That's why AJ's a better player than me. AJ, when he beat me at 16 or 17, first of all, it tasted delicious.
Yes.
And second of all, it's because he became a better player. And now, I work my face off to try to beat him.
Yeah, awesome. Hustle and hard work, are they synonyms or is there a difference? I know you tend to use the word hustle more.
Yeah, I think they're slanging the same thing. I mean, look, guys, nobody's been successful on pure talent.
Correct.
Right? Like, again, I'm being very sporty here because I love sports and I love the basketball stuff. Like, if that was the case, the #1 pick in the NBA draft would always be a superstar. Like, right. It's not just talent. It's why all these it's why the NBA draft is such a crapshoot. People look at intangibles and talent too much.
Yeah.
That's why Draymond can go in the second round when it was black and white. He was the heart of that team and he was going to be a good player. Like, it's just real.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more Draymonds and Wayne Corbett's than you realize. They just come in different shapes and sizes. They don't have to be Wayne Corbett's insanity, football.
Yep.
Draymond's a second round pick, so it's not that insane. It comes like, pick 11. Like, why is Steph not #1 overall? He went to Davidson. He there's the intangibles, the speed, all this that. But you can't judge heart, and the intangibles are everything in life, and hard work.
Yeah. There's
way too many people that give up under adversity, especially when they've had it easy. If you're an NBA player, or if you're a whiz kid, business kid that went to good schools, you've had it so easy. What happens when they punch you? That leap from college star to NBA star, hardcore.
Yeah.
That's a whole different world. A lot of those kids fail because they got punched in the mouth for the first time. They were the best player in middle school, they were the best player in high school, and they were even the best player in college. And then they get to the pros and they lose. Back to business, a lot of these kids lose because they never were the best player, they were the fake best player, they were the best student.
Yeah.
Great, you got an A in business class. That shit is bullshit. That's like me being good at NBA 2K.
Right.
That's fake. What happens when you actually start a business? So I make a lot of parallels from business and sports, and I do think hustle is actually one of the two core ingredients.
Yeah.
It's hard work and hustle / talent. That's the formula, always and forever, because timing is talent. You can force yourself into any timing. I know that meditation is going to be big. I know that esports are going to be big. That's not timing. That's my talent of observing consumer behavior and making bets. I didn't get lucky. I didn't have a talent for I'm pointing in my Twitter and Tumblr stock, right? That wasn't luck. That wasn't timing. That was the world is going to be all about social media. I'm going to invest in Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. That was talent. That was understanding where humans were going to be.
So by your definition of talent, how much of it is something you're born with and how much of it is you pounding away on your craft?
Born. And then the hard work is banging away.
Okay.
Like, I had people intuition, but I maybe didn't deploy it in a business world, and then I was just right about trends, and I could always be on my bowling team, be like, I knew Uber was gonna be big, but I didn't do anything about it. Right. I didn't know how to deploy it. That was just intuition, that I was just a good guy at the bar, got it?
Absolutely.
Talent is real, guys.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you see it every day. Go look at third graders playing basketball. I don't know how young you go or what you see. Like, it's there. Like, I was making money as a 6-year-old selling lemonade and then baseball cards. I didn't read a business book. I was 6. And there was no time to hone my talent. It was in me. Then I put in the work every day. I associate with athletes because I punted school too. Like, just so everybody knows, everybody who's made the league, in whatever league, they stopped caring about algebra and science somewhere around 2nd grade. I was the same. I got D's and F's my whole life because I knew I was gonna be a businessman, and long before businessmen and entrepreneurs were gonna be cool, I fought the system. I had the self-esteem to pull it off. I thought my teachers were wrong. I knew I wasn't a loser. I'm an 80s, 90s kid when education was the whole game. There was no entrepreneurship, and I fought the market and did my thing, and it worked out for me.
What guides your decision making mostly now? Is it instinct or experience?
Legacy.
Ah.
I make most of my decisions now based on what is it going to mean to my legacy. It's quite vain, actually. It's me writing the history of my life in real time, but a lot of it comes from legacy.
Love it.
I want to know how people think about, you know how nice it is to hear your intro? You know how, like, somebody tweeted that they think I'm a good guy because of the things they've heard from you? Yeah. See, one of the great things is the truth is undefeated. Doing the right thing is always the right thing.
Love that.
Like, I have no idea who you influence or who you know, but just doing the right thing by anybody you come across, you just never know. And so I want a good legacy.
It's like telling the truth. If you always tell the truth, then you don't have to worry about what web you've created. Last question for you, my friend. I'm guessing you started VaynerMedia because you saw a void in the digital media space. Is that why you started VaynerSports?
It's not why I started VaynerMedia.
Oh, okay.
And it's not why I started VaynerSports. VaynerMedia, I started VaynerMedia because I wanted to build the greatest marketing machine of all time, then buy businesses and run it through it.
Okay.
I didn't realize how horrible the other agencies were at digital and specifically social marketing, and that's why I got to build a very big company out of lack of competition.
Okay.
No joke, even though it seems like a competitive space. As far as VaynerSports, oh God, what a potpourri of circumstances. I basically was wearing a weird Jets jersey that somebody took a picture of. The agent of that player hit me up. We created a relationship. He had a very small agency called Symmetry Sports. We became friendly. He had his own business dynamics. In parallel, on top of that narrative that I'm telling you, my brother AJ has Crohn's disease. He wanted to get out of VaynerMedia because it was a lot of pressure and he didn't like it anymore. That other guy, Mook, calls me one day randomly and says, do you want to buy my sports agency? I'm thinking in the back of my head, maybe this is something me and AJ can do once he's out of Vayner in a year. Doesn't seem like that much. And then I said yes as an entrepreneur. And then what's happened, so I went with my intuition, and now I'm realizing, oh my God, these kids are not being, whoa. These agents are not, and I don't want to be unfair and paint everybody the same way, right. But a stunning percentage of these agents really don't give a crap about these kids. It's a meat market, they could care less. What if I did what I did in the wine business and the advertising and startup world? What if I care more than everybody? I have a feeling that caring more in this business actually is going to give me even more legs. Do you know what my dream is? If and when, and I think it's when we do the NBA, I'm going to stay in that genre because we're doing NFL first.
Yep.
That I get the number 4 pick in the NBA draft, and he has a Paul George-like injury and never plays in preseason. Never plays. 4th pick in the draft. And then I take care of that kid for the rest of my life. Help him learn business, work with him, get him into a startup, write a book about his adversity, build a podcast around him, like change his life. Show the world what I'm really doing here, which is anybody that signs with VaynerSports, it's for life. Yeah. That was me spitting into my hand.
Love it.
It's everything. It's everything. This kid right here, Vernon Adams, one of our first clients when I bought into the agency, it still says Symmetry Team as you see on the jersey up here.
Yeah.
He didn't get drafted. He was supposed to go in the 5th or 6th round, but I guess the NFL deemed him too undersized. He crushed at Oregon for everybody who's listening. Then he doesn't even get UDFA'd, which was stunning. Where is he now? The CFL. And we spent a lot of money to put him in the right position to succeed on a $500 commission check.
Always do right.
Always do right. Because he's the best dude. His family's the best. And I still think he's going to do a Warren Moon and Doug Flutie and come in the NFL and dominate. And it's going to feel better than ever. And if it doesn't, that's just the way the market reacted. And I just know that we'll do anything we can to do right by him. So I think I hope when I die, that some of the conversations around my death are, well, he changed the sports industry forever, because when he started VaynerSports with the other guys, what Mook, Brian, AJ, and Gary did at VaynerSports was they took care of players in such a way, it forced Rock Nation, it forced CAA, it forced Drew Rosenhaus, it forced Doug Conn, it forced all these people to care more just to compete with them, and it changed the market forever. I love that legacy.
That's a hell of a legacy. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We appreciate you, brother.
Love you, man.